Good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that's in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is the first time you've joined, then feel free to ask any questions just by typing in the comment section. That's if you're watching us live. If you're watching us on replay, whether that is on Facebook or on YouTube, and you have any questions, then also just add those into the comments and I will get back to you in due course. So we are at Thursday, the 20th of January already. And hi Kerry, good morning to you. And we're doing some more work, that's hardly work, is it? We're having more fun with this Hello Ladybug stamp set. I've got a very annoying fly that's flying around being very lazy and slow, and the cat's been trying to get it all day but has not succeeded, so if it flies across I do apologise. So this Hello Ladybug stamp set is in our January to June mini catalogue, and we made this card on Monday just using the Standing Up Ladybird with the shell, and I've just stamped this with black memento and Poppy Parade for the red, and I just stamped this on a strip excuse me, and laid this onto some black and white designer series paper. That was on Monday, and then yesterday morning we created this one here. This was using those lovely little flowers that come in the set, just stamped them across the page and then stamped and punched out the ladybird. So there is a matching punch that goes with it that punches out the wings and the body, and I created a little template so that if you are stamping both of those, this shows you how you can pop your stamps onto the stencil, if you like, template, pop your block on top, and then you can stamp those if you wish, and then that will punch out exactly in the same space. What I realised, of course, when I was doing it was that originally I stamped both of these in black, and of course our ladybird has a well, here in the UK, a black or a brown body, and then it has red or orangey wings, usually with a black dots on it. So I actually restamped, just inking up this one in the red, so though they're quite close, you can actually stamp on either side to get the effect you want, and then just one punch. Okay, so I thought I'd go on to make a bee out of this. I'd seen quite a few demonstrators do this. I did create this little ladybird straight from our session yesterday, punching out this black spotty paper. Let's see if I just turn this over like that so you can see it. There we go. So all I've done is punched out the black spotty paper, some red card, and then I've just stamped the spots of the ladybird onto the top. And I think that's quite an effective ladybird as well. So entirely your choice, whether you like the stamp version or the plain version. You could just stamp and use or punch and use a plain black layer as well. It just so happens that I had some spotty paper to hand. So let us carry on. Hi Zana, good evening to you. So these are my practice stamps, if you like, with the set, and I'll keep this in the pack so I know how everything stamps. I haven't used all of them yet. We haven't used the big leaf or the daisy or these small inserts, and not all of the sentiments either. But what I wanted to try just really quickly is just punching out some of these wings, and I'm just going to trim this as I go along. And this is from this same black and white paper that's on one side and then patterned on the other, called Pattern Party, because I'm actually going to make a bee, but I just want to see if I can make a flower from this. I think I can. Whether I'll use it for my bee, I'm not sure. And I definitely think you can make these into leaves as well. So what I was thinking is just layering these together. Let's have a look, see, to make a flower like so. Let me just put it on some dark card, you'll have a better chance of seeing it. Now I've moved it all around. Oops. So, like that. Like so. Obviously doing it a little bit tidier than I've done there, so just gluing it as I go along. And then I'm thinking you could just punch out a small black circle or something for the centre. So we'll do that in a minute. So for the bee, I'm actually going to use some of this striped paper, and I'm going to use some, you could use some ink, you could use a blending brush or a blends pen, maybe with some mango, to create the stripes of the body of the bee. So we're going to have a black head and then the rest is going to be striped. So let me move that to one side, and I'm just going to do some colouring first. Let's see, I've got some, actually got a dark daffodil delight pen here. Yeah, so I've got vellum for the wings. Hi Claire. Hi Michelle. So my thought, so this is the Ladybird as it comes out. So to convert this to a bee, I'm just going to add some yellow between these stripes. Now you could obviously just draw these to start with, or you could cut them as well if you wanted to. I'm just going to see if I've got enough. So I'm going to have, the head is going to be black, so I'm going to lay this on top. So that will actually be enough, but I am just going to just take this a little bit further to the edge, like so. Just so that I'm not missing too much. I hope you're feeling a bit more with it, Michelle, after your busy week last week. Okay, so this bee is in here at a slight angle. So just going to tuck my card in there, and I just want this nice bit at the bottom to be black, although it doesn't really matter. There we go. And then I'm going to punch out some vellum wings to pop on the top, like so. I'm just going to cut out, oops, 2 lots of vellum, like that. Okay, so these are going to be the wings. Now you could also have acetate if you wanted to. So they're going to go on the top. And what I'm going to do is cut this across where this body would be. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the lines actually, so it's going to be slightly like so. Do need to get them straight though. There we are. If I just lift that up so you can see it a bit better. So that's going to be my bee. Just going to see actually. That's almost a circle. So you could, if you wanted to, just punch a circle of that out and add it on. But I think that will do the job. Like that. So let's put that layer on first. Hi Julie. So let's find a bit of glue. Just put it on the back of here, like so. Oh, bless you. Okay. Thanks, Kerry. Have a good day. Okay, I need to take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. So, I do need to get it straight though. Let me lift this up. Okay, got a little bit of glue on there. Okay, like that. And then I've got the wings here and here. So I've got sort of double wings, because they do have like double wings, don't they? Like so. So I think what I'm going to do is if I put this one underneath, I'm sorry you can't see this because this vellum, you you just can't see what I've got in the air, can you? Let's move this flower out of the way that I was creating. There we go. So I think what I might do is adhere those together, and I may trim the top or I might just leave it as is. Now you can use various glues for this. You can use our Tombow liquid glue if it's very, very fine. So what I'm going to do is actually use one of these little glue applicators, which funnily enough look just like a very small version of a COVID testing piece of apparatus. So I'm just going to put some on a block a little bit of glue on there, and then I'm just going to pick up the tiniest amount and then just dot it on here. So tiny, I had to take my glasses off to actually see it. So it's like a miniature toothbrush. It's the best way I can describe it. But you could use a cocktail stick. You just want something very light. You could also use a sponge, and you could also use the seal, but to be honest, trying to get a small amount of glue on from the seal onto that is quite tricky. Hi Brenda, good evening to you. So those two are attached, and then this is going to go onto here like that, and I'm going to do the same thing, but just put the tiniest bit of glue on this bottom set of wings. So oh yes, a paintbrush would also do it. Yeah, that's a good point, Sana. Very fine paintbrush or cocktail stick. It's just getting the smallest amount, isn't it, really? So there's our bee. So we've gone from a ladybird to a bee, and you could put little googly eyes on that if you wanted to. I mean, there's no eyes on the ladybird as it's stamped anyway, this one. But if you had little googly eyes, that would be quite good fun to put them on. So what I'm wondering is, I quite fancy doing this one. Oh, are you, Brenda? Oh, bless you. I'm really sorry. Whether it's, I don't think it's the internet here, because I've had that resolved. It might be the weather, I suppose. I quite fancy Cat would want the stick. She must have been a dog in the previous life. Yes, that's very true. Very true. Right, while I'm here, I'm just going to put this flower together, see what this looks like. Because I can't quite decide if I'm going to have the bee on this flower, or whether I'm going to have this, but stamp it in the same crushed curry, or daffodil delight or something. So let's just put this flower together, see what it looks like. And you could easily, with this, as cut some out in green and make these into leaves. Okay, so I can't remember what I did next. This one here, like that, and then that one roughly in the middle. So it could be Facebook gremlins. Quite possibly Facebook doing some updates, and it's updated some and not others, and we know how it is, don't we? Yeah, that will do. That one on there. And then this one on top. Like that. Hi Joan and Judith. Thanks for joining us. 2 new names. Okay. So all I've done is taken the wings from the ladybird, punched them out of this patterned paper, which is from the Pattern Party set, and stuck them together in that format for a flower. So I'm going to bend up the petals and also punch them out in a little bit of green for some leaves, like so. So I wonder where Joan and Judith, where you're from in the world, for joining us this evening. Thank you. If you want to let us know, that's fine. If you don't want to, I fully understand. Right, let's grab some green. Oh, Joan's in Liverpool. My daughter's boyfriend is headed up to Liverpool this evening, funnily enough, to go and grab the ferry to Belfast. Oh, and Judith in Leeds. Lovely. Okay, so you could use this easily for some leaves. And if you wanted to, I think what I'm going to do is just bend these up with a bone folder, and I'm going to put a centerpiece on this, and whether or not I use it I'm not quite sure. So we made this card yesterday and this one on Monday, so if you didn't catch any of those, you can hop back through Facebook and see them. And they're also on YouTube as well. Okay, so I'm just going to curl this. So a bit like curling ribbon, if you've ever done that. I'm right-handed, so I put the bone folder on one side of the leaf and my thumb on the other, and then just apply some pressure and move the bone folder along like that. And obviously you could have more layers if you wanted to. You could have a different layer. You could have black layer behind, for example. And then I'm just going to cut this like so. I might crinkle this one up as well. Small world, isn't it? Zella's daughter's in Bradford. It's funny how it goes, isn't it? It's all quite small here for us in the UK, isn't it, really? Okay, and you could use blending brush to add a bit of detail onto that if you wanted to. And then we can just add these on for some leaves. I'm just going to do that. As I say, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this yet, because I do quite like this design. Hi Bridie, thanks for joining us. And it's this one that we'll be doing at Coffee and Card tomorrow, so people can choose whether they want to do ladybirds or bees. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry. So that's a flower made out of the wings of the Ladybird punch, and I'm just going to maybe just punch out a centre. Let me find a smallish punch for that. Obviously if you've got dies or anything you could use those, but it's always nice to be able to use punches for more than just what they're designed for. What have I got here? Got a 1-inch punch. Let's have a look, see. Got some of this lovely black again. So I'm just going to come in from the edge so I can use this as a layer. Oh, it's almost like a sunflower. Coincidentally, if I'd done that in a brown, I think I might pop that up on dimensionals, which are in my bag ready for Coffee and Card. Let me grab it, excuse me. Sorry everyone. That's the thing about having coffee and card bags at the ready, is it means I don't necessarily have everything ready for my live. Let's have a look, see. There we go. Okay. Oh yes, the stripy paper is in the same pack as this, which is the pattern party paper. This has got so there's lots of different designs. There's 48 sheets and they're 12 by 12, and it's a host set, so you can get it when you place an order of £150 or more, and the host price for this is just £17, so it's really good value. I think the list price is £29, I think. But you could, hi Tracy, you could use obviously other papers, or you could literally just draw some stripes. If you've got some blends pens and some white card, just alternate yellow and black stripes. Okay, so there's my, what now looks like a little sunflower. So my bee could be on my sunflower, couldn't it? So let's have a look. Okay, so there's lots of different designs you can make, but I do rather like the bee. You could add a layer of window sheet or acetate, although you can't punch it particularly well. But you could also add some glitter onto this, or if you had some glitter vellum or some patterned vellum, that would look nice. You could also put the vellum through an embossing folder, and so you've got an embossed effect to the wings. Cassie. So let's create a card from this. I'll put my coffee down somewhere. Thank you, Lynn. Yes, the flowers come out better than I thought, actually. So I've just used some of that patterned paper again. Definitely looks like a sunflower in my mind. So I think probably I do need, be a bit much to have him on top, or her on top, because you'd cover up the flower, wouldn't you? Oh, I've just taken my wings off. Sorry. I shouldn't have picked it up until it completely sealed, should I? Sorry, bee. Okay, let's grab a piece of card. Now I'm just wondering, I definitely want this to show up, so I'm definitely going to use a white layer rather than the yellow or the black. Go. Oh, I could put little diamantes on the antenna for this one. Okay, let's move these out of the way. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this like I've done this one, so I've got this layer going on. So this is 13.85 by 9.5. It's going to be my smallest layer. Okay, so I do rather like this setup. So whether I add this in the top, I don't know, but I do want to stamp these flowers going across. Oops. have got Daffodil Delight, which is the colour that I used, or I've got Crushed Curry, which is the colour of the flower. So I might do a combination of those. So let me grab that stamp. So it's a great set, and as you know, if you buy the stamp set and the punch together, then you get them at a discounted rate. Let's put this underneath. And it's been a lovely bright day here today. I hope it's been the same for you around the UK. Bridie and Tracy are close at hand together. Okay, let me move this up so you can see where I am. Stamp that off first. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp this again and going to rotate the flowers. So they don't look like you've just literally stamped once and again, and then adding a little bit in between. I've missed that bit, I can see that. There we go. Susan has been rubened, bless her. Oh, so that says very cold. Oh, very wet, bursts of sunshine. Oh my goodness, it's been lovely here. Cold, but quite sunny for sure. So I told you this was going to have quite a big appearance, isn't it? I love this stamp. It's crazy, isn't it? Why three little flowers could bring you such joy? Okay, right, let's see. I just feel that's quite big for what I want to do. Let's have a look. So let's add a different sentiment to this one. I just need, oh, and I was going to add some bling to the antenna. I'm going to put you can, oh no I can't, I don't want to put you can bug me anytime because it's a bee now. I think I'll still do may your greatest wish come true, which is on a block somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to do this in Memento Black. It's 3 now. Oh, hi Trudy. Thanks for joining us live. You don't often get to catch us live, I don't think, do you? And it was lovely to bump into you yesterday. Okay. So, I'm hoping I've got that straight. There we go. May your greatest wish come true. Complete with cat hair. Okay, so here is our bee. I'm going to add a little bit more glue into this. I was being very light of touch, obviously just too light. So let's just add a little bit more to my block. And I'm going to put it on here, not onto the black. There we go. That's better. I think mainly because I was sort of moving it around, lifting it by its wings before it had really stuck in place. Okay. So the question is, am I just going to leave my bee as she is, so that I've recreated this one with the bee, or am I going to add the flower? What do you think? Hello Vivian. If you know me, you'll know that I go for the simpler version, but what do you think? Does it work with them both? I'm going to put it on that black layer that I punched out earlier. So I just need to trim. And then onto a yellow card I could do. Judith is sat by the radiator with a cuppa. Good idea. So bee with the flower or just the bee, and use the flower for something else. So this was an offcut of paper. I could also use this one in exchange, but I think that's, yes, it doesn't set it off, does it? I might put it on some yellow card though for a change. Okay, so I'm going to let me do this layer because I'm going to do that layer anyway, and then pop it onto a yellow card. Bee with flower, bee with flower. Okay. You have spoken. So this one is going to be 10 centimeters. I'm going to cut it from this end, and that should fit nicely. Okay, so what I am going to do, because I rather like the dotty base, is punch out some a few more ladybirds from this before I use it. From here, because I can't even find the, oh, here it is. So this was the one I created yesterday. Now we've got coffee and card tomorrow, so rather than waste the middle of that, I'm going to punch out a few of these. Now I do want to come in from the edge. Let's see if I can get away with this. I will actually use the keep those as well. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it? Yes, I got away with that. There's another one. And what I would do if I wasn't doing coffee and card and I wanted these is I would, as I said yesterday, keep these in a little bag in with the stamp set. So if I pick that up another time, I've got it all to hand. And it may mean I don't need to find a scrap of paper and punch it out. So this one is going to go onto there. Made the most of that. So I'm just going to add some glue around the edge. Oh, no trouble, Judith. It's a useful tip. So you can just punch out small pieces if you want to. Just punch out circles, or you could use a die cut if you've got die cutting machine. Any of those really, because it's going to be wasted otherwise. And unless you're using something very light on the top, you're not going to see it. Even though this is white, this is our standard thin white card, our basic, basic white. and you don't see it through. You would if you held it up to the light, but you just don't see it through there. Right, I think this demands a Daffodil Delight card. Which hopefully I have. I do indeed. There we go. Go. Just use a bone folder on that to get it nice and crisp, like that. Okay, so we're going to layer that up first. So coming around the edge here. And just a little bit in the middle, and just a light amount of glue with our Tombow glue. You don't need a lot, otherwise it all squishes out and can make a mess of your card, and then you get it on your fingers and transfer it everywhere else. Okay, let's move these out of the way and assemble this together. So that's my gut feel, to have the flower at the bottom rather than in the air, and then my bee can be in the air, because I want to see these flowers here. So I'm gonna, this has got dimensional on it already, so I'm just going to have that flat but put my bee up on dimensionals, and this flower was the one I made out of the wings of the bee, if anybody joined us after that beginning part. So I'm going to have this right down in the corner. Oh, Judith's asking what day I do lives. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Monday and Wednesday my lives are at 10 in the morning. And Tuesdays and Thursdays they are at 7 in the evening. I think she needs to be flying towards the flower, doesn't she? And you can always catch them on replay, obviously, and I always upload them to YouTube as well, so you can watch whichever suits you best. I know some people like to watch on YouTube later and then they can pop it on their television and things. There we go. And let's add a little bit of bling on the end of those antennae. I'm going to take my glasses off for this. So just using the smallest of our basic rhinestones. And they fit perfectly on the end. So if you're at Coffee and Card tomorrow, Michelle, this is what we're making. So I hope you're able to join us. So this one has got bling on the antenna. This one has got bling on the flowers as they go along. They've both got the same sentiment. I'll need to look for some more flying type sentiments that would work particularly well. So there we are, building up a nice selection. So that was yesterday's, this is today's. So basically taken that just a step further, converted the ladybird into a bee, converted the wings into a flower. None of these are original ideas of mine. They're all ones that other demonstrators have designed. I'm pleased with this one. It doesn't look like a sunflower. And it was coincidental that I had this paper out because I was looking for a colour for the bee. So that's worked really well. Thank you so much. So thank you, Zana, Judith, and Bridie, Susan, Tracy, and everybody else who's still here. Lynn, if she's still here, Joan, and Brenda, Kerry, who's in Australia, I think was having problems, Julie, Michelle, Claire. So thank you all. So that is the end of today's live. Not quite as short and sweet as I expected, but there we go. It will be good enough. So I do hope you're able to join me next week. I'll be back on Monday. If you're new to me, then do by all means follow Gemini Crafts. You can also find my webpage by looking for Gemini Crafts on Google. And I do a monthly subscription class in a box if ever you're interested in that, as well as my lives, and 2 lots of coffee and card each week on a Monday and a Friday. So this is the card along with this one that we'll be doing, or a slightly simpler version of this, at Coffee and Card tomorrow in Brackley. So I hope some of you are able to join us. Do take care. As I say, the links to the Ladybird set, if anybody needs to look at it online, I'll add. They're available in my shop. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a good evening. I look forward to catching up with you again. Look forward to seeing you again, Judith. Thank you so much for joining us today. And take care, everyone. Look after yourselves. Look after your loved ones, won't you? And I hope you can keep crafting. Thanks so much for watching. Take care now. Bye for now.